You're listening to The Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
The Podcasting Network, Brothers of Destruction, Angry Marks Network, and VOC Nation bring to you their absolute favorite sons. I'm talking about Raw Reaction's own Angry Tensai and my main man. I gotta say, I love Big Dick. Big Dick, how you doing tonight, buddy?
What is up, brother? What is up?
You know, man, I'm going to tell you, there's nothing that makes me happier than every week when I say, how you doing, Big Dick? I love that. That just is a great part of my Monday, asking you how you're doing.
You know what? I'm actually doing extraordinarily well today. When you think of legends, when you think of the immortals, when you think of heroes, who do you think of?
I think of one legend. I think of one hero. Because whether it be Michael Jordan, whether it be Wayne Gretzky, whether it be Joe Montana, none of them, even Barry Bonds, none of them finished on top. But I know one who did. I know the greatest of their genre. And I'm not talking about the Hulkster Hulk Hogan. I'm not talking about Undertaker at WrestleMania. I'm talking about the undisputed greatest legend of them all, the American Pharaoh.
This magical unicorn is truly an American masterpiece, an American gem, an American hero. I feel like I've been rewarded similar to Rocky losing in his movies, coming back from his narrow loss, most recently in New York, only to go out at the pinnacle of the sport, a legend amongst mere mortal horses.
37 years it took to get a Triple Crown winner. And then in Saratoga, arguably, American Pharaoh's greatest race, where he lost the lead, regained it, was illegally bumped, and still almost won the race, to come back and beat those same horses from that race, plus other legends of the past, other Belmont Stakes winners of the past, and overcome all odds and be the first Grand Slam winner in Kentucky. And what is a fun fact about our very own Big Dick is he was at every leg of the Triple Crown except for the Preakness, the Haskell, the Saratoga, and most recently the Breeders' Cup. He's a part of your life, Vic. And you know what? I was with you at the Belmont. It's just unbelievable. Our very own Killer Kev is from Kentucky, and it goes without saying that all wrestling fans are horse racing fans. That's just common knowledge. It's just common knowledge. Everybody knows that. But what a rewarding. What a reward.
It was quite the experience. It was, I teared up quite a bit at the end, as did many.
I did at home.
Mere mortals. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen in horse racing, possibly, out with the exception of the Belmont win for Triple Crown.
Well, you know, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I would say for those who say that American Pharaoh isn't the greatest horse of all time, let's line them up right now. Some say it's Secretariat or Man of War. Line them up. I bet you those guys in their current state won't even get out of the blocks. American Pharaoh with an easy victory. Just saying. Just saying.
I agree 100%. I think that I think he would dominate a race, a current day race amongst legends.
There are some that say Chris Benoit is the greatest technical wrestler of all time. I would say Put him in the ring with one of today's greatest technical wrestlers. Put him in there with a Seth Rollins. I think he'd be on his back the whole match. Thank you. But I'm glad that you got out there. We'll definitely talk a little bit more about the American Pharaoh throughout the show because it is a great time for the American Pharaoh. But we did have some Monday night.
From what I hear that they may bring Curtis Axel, or I'm sorry, Damian Sandow back with an American Pharaoh gimmick now.
They're going to cash it up.
Gimmick in about a month and a half, so I'm thinking it's only got to cater to the horse racing genre, and he knows that horse racing on WWE television equals ratings.
If the American Sandow came out instead of the American Pharaoh with horse gear, I would be all for it.
Absolutely. That's the thing I didn't understand tonight. I think it was a little short-sighted by Triple H and the rest of WWE. They sent a WWE title belt to the Kansas City Royals following their win of the World Series. However, right. I did not see them send a King of the Ring quadruple crown to American Pharaoh.
Why didn't American Pharaoh, Espinoza, Bob Baffert, and Zayak get one?
I don't know. I'm going to have to write a letter as a WWE stockholder. I'm going to need to write a letter and ask for this injustice.
What grown man with any responsibility can say they sit down and watch 162 baseball games? I mean, who still watches that sport? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I couldn't even watch the Dodgers in the playoffs for 5 games against the Mets. I couldn't even watch all 5 of them.
It's well documented, buddy, that I'm a huge football fan. I'm a huge basketball fan. You know, but the beauty of football, there's only 16 games, right? For college football, there's like 11 games. For horse racing, there's a couple big races. But I don't know, baseball just doesn't do it for me. And all of the baseball purists that killed all the great players of my generation, let me tell you, I have no interest in the. Oh yeah, I think he was using steroids. Oh, he was using the juice. He's a cheater. Oh yeah, whatever, dude. Everybody cheats in everything they do in some way or another. If you're in the gym and you don't do that last rep, you cheated. When you pick up that cookie when you're on your diet, you cheated. When you're with a male or a female and you get some attention from somebody you shouldn't and you take that extra step, you're a cheater. When you're in that test as a student and somebody next to you gives you an answer, the one you get stuck on, you're a cheater, okay? It's everywhere. It runs rampant. If you're the greatest nation in the world, the United States, and you have planes that are not flown by human beings, you're a cheater. Right? I mean, Nick, am I wrong?
You know what? I think I've never looked at it that way, but I'm beginning to think you're absolutely right.
Anyway, I digress. So, I got to tell you, Killer Kev and I were talking before we went on the air. You weren't here quite yet. We were talking about Raw tonight, and he didn't really like the show tonight. I disagree. I like the show overall, but I do agree with him. It took a while for this Raw to get going, but man, did I love the main event, and did I love the whole concept of a legit Survivor Series classic match on Raw tonight. How'd you feel about that?
You know what? I thought it was a good thing because I feel like the Survivor Series, it used to be one of the big, I guess you say the big 4 pay-per-views, and it sort of lost its luster over the years. I mean, the Survivor Series matches always feels like, okay, let's just put 4 scrubs with one good team captain. They sort of team them up relevantly, but I like the way they did it tonight because it set up future matches.
Yeah, I mean, I for sure, and it had returns as well. Show starts tonight, and we've heard through some of the dirt sheets that there's going to be a slow build to Survivor Series, and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins had a confrontation early to start the show, and Rollins actually was somewhat complimentary of Reigns, and he just talked about, hey, listen, man, I know you want to be world champion, and I hear what you're saying, but I respect you. I know you got a lot of talent. I wouldn't have put you in the Shield if I didn't think you were one of the best. You went toe to toe with Brock Lesnar, but you have to realize that I'm one step ahead of you. That's why I was able to succeed at WrestleMania. And at the end of the day, I'm the true champion, and I'm always going to be one move ahead of you, one step quicker. And I know I could beat you. And then Reigns said, you know what, man? Well, if you could beat me, let's do it right now. And Rollins actually didn't seem afraid. He said, okay, you know what? Let's do it right now. So Rollins gets pretty close to the ring, and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon tease those two fighting, but they say, not tonight. You have to wait till Survivor Series, but we got one better for you. We're going to give you a 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. What was cool about the setup was Roman, you get a team. Seth, you get a team. Show up at the end of the night with your team. So I kind of liked the setup for that, and I thought without going on a long, drawn-out promo, they reestablished why Rollins and Reigns have the feud in the background of the Shield. I thought it was a very effective segment. I thought it sold the paper or the main event for tonight pretty well. I had no problem with that. Here's where I agree with Killer Cav. From this segment, which was very effective in setting up the main event, they went into a match with Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens. Now, on paper, this should be like, the best match WWE can even put out there. But I felt it was a very poor match myself. I agree with Killer Cav. I don't know if these guys were running through the motions. Maybe it was lack of chemistry. Maybe it was that Tyler Breeze making a mockery of the match and coming down in the middle. I thought it started a really sluggish Raw. Tyler Breeze took a lot of the focus off the fact Ziggler and Owens were out there. I thought it was really odd. I get he sets up his own little bar at ringside and they drink martinis and watch the match, but I just don't get it. And ultimately, Breeze stood up, caused Ziggler to lose focus against arguably the most dangerous man in the WWE, because Breeze stood up and looked at him. Ziggler loses his attention for a couple moments.
He was trying to take selfies too. Come on, let's report the whole story here, right?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Breeze actually didn't do anything. He just stood up and took a picture of Ziggler and himself, and that caused Ziggler to go over to Owens and lost the match. I mean, they continue to make Ziggler look like he lacks intelligence in every interaction. I don't understand it. He comes off like such a jock, I didn't like this match. I don't know. I think Owens looks fine, but Ziggler looks like a complete moron. And then after the match, they take selfies around his body. Him and Summer Rae. I just didn't like it. How about you?
Yeah, you know what? I did pick up a chant in the crowd, from the crowd saying "Summer's over" during the match. I don't know if it was because there was it was boredom when Tyler Breeze was coming out there, because they knew, hey, you know what? We know how this is going to end, and we know how it's going to end. But that was a pretty entertaining, catchy little match.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, catchy little chant there.
Yeah, I thought it was a catchy little chant too, but it is what it is. Let me ask, Killer Kev, what did you think of that whole segment?
Yeah, I'd pretty much agree to that. What the hell happened? Is the brain damage finally catching up here?
Whoa.
I'm just saying, maybe it's time to go back to Dr. Andrews, and maybe we need to get another X-ray.
I would agree.
Another concussion test?
Let's do a little bit more testing, maybe check an MRI or something, just to be on the safe side.
Wow.
You know what? I think Kevin's right. Safety first. I mean, I hate concussions in the NFL, but with WWE, I think that you really need to be careful. So I sort of agree with that. And it was pretty bad as far as, pretty much like even before Tyler Breeze came out, you could tell something was going to be up, because they made mention of how Tyler Breeze has interfered with his last 3 matches on SmackDown, which apparently is still a show these days. And you could sort of see the slow build just in their discussions that something was going to happen there. So, of course, WWE did not miss the obvious opportunity to make that happen.
Well, Kevin Owens had a big night tonight, though. He right after that match, he was recruited to team up with Seth Rollins, and Owens was kind of like, I might be interested, but why would I do that? And Rollins goes, well, at this point, I have no opponent for WrestleMania, and I have no problem on the marquee, you versus me. I think it's probably the best match we could field in the WWE. And Owens says, that's cool, I could dig that. So, you know what? You'll owe me one, but I'll team up with you tonight. So we find out that Seth Rollins is Kevin Owens' partner. It seems like a good partner to have.
I like that. I sort of hate I hate when they have to make these teams, and it's either the heel has trouble getting people on his side, or the face has trouble because Vince McMahon's got to fire everybody on his team, like last year's Survivor Series. So I sort of like it where there's not really a lot of turn down, not really a lot of drama, not really. I mean, some backstage build-up is fine to let us know, like, oh man, a big star like Kevin Owens is gonna, but Ryback joining the team, I don't really give a shit.
Well, Ryback's, I agree. He definitely stood out in a bad way in this match. But you know what? So did Xavier Woods. But I kind of liked when New Day approached Rollins about being his partner. Rollins was kind of like, all right, I'll team with you and Kofi to Big E, but he goes, we do need another partner, and Xavier Woods walks out, and Rollins like, oh shit, I guess to get Batman, you got to get Robin. So I thought that was funny to acknowledge that. Woods will
I think, he's more useful to WWE with the trombone in his hand than anything else.
Woods is Mr. Fuji, dude. He occasionally wrestles, but he's not meant to be a wrestler. He's meant to be a manager. So I really like Xavier Woods' role. I have no problem with that. So that kind of sets up the heel side of the main event. Speaking of other big matches tonight, we had a fatal four-way for the women's number one contender match between Paige, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Brie Bella. And we get a couple of vignettes backstage. Sasha Banks had one that, I liked it. I thought she came off kind of cool, but it was a little uncomfortable with JoJo. It came off like a little rehearsed, but I was okay with it. I thought Sasha Banks looked like she, looks like she was going to be a player for sure, which we know. I thought Becky Lynch's promo backstage was awful. It was awkward, and it was very douchey to say the least. Just, she's so awkward on the mic. She's not funny. Becky Lynch should never be near a mic. I'm sorry, she just shouldn't. Did you see her interview backstage?
Yeah, I didn't really get it. All I know is what's her name, Brie Bella came in and interfered, and then very mercifully Miss Blair also came in and got involved towards the end of it to sort of salvage what it could from that dumpster fire. Well,
the interviews were horrible, but the wrestling and this Fatal 4-Way was an outstanding match. And I'm going to tell you, I don't mean to dwell on the negative, but Brie Bella was so clunky in this match. Like, you could see, like, just her hesitation versus the real athletes in this match. I thought Paige, Becky Lynch, and Sasha were awesome in this match. I thought they delivered the goods, all three of them. I thought there was a lot of chemistry between the three of them. The only thing I would say, like, kind of like about Paige is she threw a couple moves like that running knee she did in the corner. And I don't know what it is. I think she just mechanically does the moves and doesn't, like, sell them after she completes them. I think Paige could use a little work there, which I never really realized till tonight. I mean, maybe it was just this match, but I do like Paige's new character. She's like she's just a mess, and she's very arrogant. I really like her portrayal of not giving an F.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this because I feel like they've sort of. I mean, Paige has been like the big show of the female division. Like she's face heel like every 2 months.
I think that's okay though. That's her character. Her character's a flake. I mean, she's very flaky. That's like her gimmick. You know, it's not like Big Show where they just keep doing it to give him something new. I just think that Paige's gimmick is she's just a flaky person, which I'm fine with. Becky Lynch and Sasha, you know, on the other hand, you know, they're not. Sasha Banks is good on the mic. She just wasn't great in that promo today, but man, did they both look great in this match? I mean, Becky Lynch looked like a little Brock Lesnar with the suplexes all across the ring. I mean, she just was awesome. She looked great, and I thought she was going to win the match when she put Brie Bella in her crippler crossface like submission. Sasha Banks looked awesome as well. She almost put away Becky Lynch in the bank statement, but Becky and Paige really, or excuse me, Becky and Sasha really softened Brie Bella for Paige to re-enter and take advantage of the one who was standing. And at that point, it was Becky Lynch after she threw Sasha out of the ring and got kind of a cheap win. But I have to say this was just an outstanding match. What do you think?
I mean, I think this was a serviceable match. I mean, WWE tonight, they didn't have many of their stars there, and I think this match went about 15 minutes. And you know what? It adds to the women's division. I mean, I think they get one match at the pay-per-view, and that's about it. I mean, you might as well build it up. I don't like I said before. I don't like the way it feels like Paige is sort of flaking out between two separate, like a heel persona and a face persona. I wish they'd sort of go with one, even if it is the heel persona. I think that they need to come up with a storyline that they can utilize. And maybe, you know what? Maybe it's just an extension of this storyline. But they need to make a decision on it.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. And I think that's the dynamic of female combatants that they can do that's different than the men. So I don't know. I'm not necessarily on the same page there, but I am excited about a Charlotte Paige main event. I think logically female divas match. I do think logically from a title standpoint, it makes sense to me. I mean, these guys have been feuding. It's the logical booking. And you save Sasha Banks for either her big title shot at Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. And they've absolutely protected her. She's not taken any bad losses or even any losses I can think of since this whole thing started. So I'm okay with that. That was great. I'm looking forward to their big match. One thing I noticed tonight, too, I thought was very interesting was there was a tag team match tonight between the Lucha Dragons, Wade Barrett and Sheamus. And Wade Barrett and Sheamus have pretty much been teaming up pretty consistently, and both of them have been on a roll, Sheamus and Wade Barrett. And you'd think on the surface there's no way Wade Barrett and Sheamus are going to lose this match, but they did a very comprehensive vignette about the Lucha Dragons and their journey to the WWE before the match, and I'm like, are they really going to go over Sheamus and Wade Barrett? And there's no way. And honestly, they had control of the match. Sin Cara avoided the Brogue kick. Wade Barrett tried to hit the bullhammer on Kalisto, and Kalisto was able to reverse it into a Salida de Sol for the win. I mean, it was an awesome match, I thought. I was just surprised to see the Lucha Dragons get the win. What did you think?
I think it's a big upset. And I was telling you before we came on the air, I have a problem with the Luchas. I mean, that's their first television win, at least on Raw, in probably 6 months. Outside of maybe like a one-off win here or there.
Have they even been on?
Not that much. But I was shocked that they won that, and after the match they're calling for the titles.
Because they won.
You made it exactly. I mean, and they were going nuts about it. I'm like, guys, like, number one, you beat two singles wrestlers. And I got it. That's a pretty significant win. But you know what? You don't deserve no titles.
The crowd was going crazy. Like, I don't know if it's just the lucha thing. Like, the crowd just eats up any kind of gimmicky thing. But the crowd was really into it.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate this usage of Sheamus and
Me too.
I mean, I feel like they should have. I feel like they missed their opportunity. I would have liked to have seen them during the pre-show form a team with like Rusev, Cesaro, Neville, like maybe like 5 or 6 guys form a team and literally have it a stable and call it the pre-show.
The what?
Or something. Call it the pre-show. And to make it like a ragging on like this is bullshit that we're on the pre-show. Like Rusev was main eventing with John Cena. We have the King of the Ring here. We have, and seriously, make that like they're discontent. And you can make them. I mean, you can even get away with making them a sort of like or part of the team, like a pretty cool team. You can turn them into a.
I love that idea.
Turn them into a Shield type team.
Kev, what do you think of that? That's actually awesome.
I don't know. Seems like, we've kind of already been down that road a couple of times with a Shield-like team.
Yeah, but the Shield
weren't... the Shield is brand new, and they're like, oh, we're being oppressed. These guys have been on the roster these are established superstars. And just be like, yo, you know what? We don't like the way this is being booked, and we're going to do something about it. And sort of be like the hostile... Not necessarily a hostile takeover, but I mean, you can utilize that to get better matches because
I know it's not breaking kayfabe either. Because
but didn't Ring of Honor book something like that like 3 years ago?
But nobody watches.
Isn't that pretty much like TNA's gimmick every 8 months?
Again, nobody watches TNA, so if you have guys and they blur that line of kayfabe and they're like, we don't like our spots on the card, and we're the former leader of the Nexus, a former WWE champion, arguably the best independent wrestler in the world before going into WWE. I mean, that is an interest. I really think that's interesting and unique. I think Vic's brought a great idea to the table.
Yeah, but then they bring it up to Triple H, and Triple H is like, you know what? You're fired, and that's it. There's your angle. It's over.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing is, they need to realize that they'd probably, if they are proud wrestlers, they would almost rather be fired than be in this situation on the card.
If WWE was dumb enough to fire Wade Barrett, Sheamus, Neville, and Cesaro,
yeah,
the 4 of them at the same time, I believe that there's enough. Listen to what I'm about to say, Kev. I believe there's enough talent in those 4 guys to bring a federation as a competitor to the WWE. If it went down under that pretense. How about that comment?
Nah, wouldn't happen. I mean, we've seen something significant like that, before. I mean, if anybody remembers the Filthy Animals from WCW.
The Radicals, you mean? Yes. And the Radicals coming over from WCW.
That was a big hit.
Is what buried the WCW and finished them.
Yeah, but WCW was already on the decline there. There's no way that would finish off WWE at all because WWE be like, big fucking deal. We've got a dozen more guys in NXT to pull up. And when we pull that up, guess what? We've got a dozen slots in NXT. Indie rosters, just come right on in.
Wade Barrett is so wasted. I mean, I don't even know where to start. And I know a lot of people like Cesaro, and I like him too, but I prefer Cesaro in a tag team. And I don't think he's very good on the mic. I think Wade Barrett is the total package. The whole thing. I don't understand why he's basically a lower mid-carder. A mid-card wrestler wins. I just don't get how misutilized Wade Barrett is.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there needs to be a better use for this. And having BS matches against the Lucha Dragons, that's not it.
Well, let me ask you a question. Last question here. So, tag team division, tag team champions. In my opinion, when I think of Wade Barrett and Sheamus, I feel like if these guys decide to team up, they should be able to beat anybody on any single night.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They could be contending. Not right now. I think you build them up a slow build in the tag team division for the next 3 months or so to build them up to Dudleys. But I think that you know what, you stick them together, see how it works out, come up with a cool name, maybe a cool gimmick or something. They could possibly wrestle under Zeb Coulter, and you got a decent little heel tag team there.
So let's talk about the main event. To be honest with you, I want to get right to that, and we'll talk a little bit about the Wyatts as well, because those are the big developments tonight. But the main event wound up being, as we know, we already established Rollins' team of Owens and the New Day. Well, Mr. Roman Reigns comes out and JBL says, well, what is he going to wrestle alone? Like, what's he going to wrestle on his own? He's got no partners with him. And, of course he's got partners. And all of a sudden the entranceway lights up. Who's back? None other than Big Dick's favorite tag team, the Usos.
Oh my God, I threw up a little bit in my mouth. Actually, I threw up in my mouth, and then I threw up some more in the toilet. I did not need to see them back. The tag team division, I think, is enough watered down right now, and you don't really have a heel. You don't really have heel tag teams. You have, and again, we can get back to this after the Cesaro match, but we basically have New Day as the biggest heels with the Ascension, possibly the second biggest heels.
Yeah, the Ascension don't ever win, which sucks. But the Usos are team one. And then I was actually glad to see the Usos, because I was like, oh, this is stupid. It's going to be the Dudley Boys and Dean Ambrose. But it wound up being the Usos. And then I thought to myself, who's going to be the other partners? Is it going to be... And I actually thought of Ryback, because I'm like, well, will it be Ryback because of Kevin Owens? But no, Kevin Owens started a feud with Dean Ambrose, so it's not going to be Ryback. There's no way it'll be Ryback. Lo and behold, it's Ryback. And then the last partner is Dean Ambrose, which is illogical because of the connection with him and Reigns. So a pretty strong team for Reigns, no doubt about it. And I like the team. I thought it was a good book. The match itself was interesting because it had a lot of eliminations quickly, but then it had some lulls in it. Right away, Xavier Woods was eliminated by Jimmy and Jey Uso. Right off the bat.
I like the elimination of Xavier Woods, but I would have liked to see it be more of a comedy act. Like he walks out of the ring to look for a trumpet or something like that and gets eliminated.
Well, it was pretty close. But,
yeah, I don't know. The less Xavier Woods and the less Usos you have in this match, the more I like it.
Well, I think they want, the Usos were eventually going to get eliminated. I think what they were trying to do was book the Usos in a strong way coming back. So they did that because they eliminated Kofi Kingston very quickly as well. So they took out Xavier and Kofi very quickly, both Usos with their Uso splashes. And it looked like the Usos were about to finish off Big E too. Jey Uso was set up for the Uso splash, and he got tripped up by Kevin Owens, who was on the apron, and Big E then hit him with the big ending off the top rope, which was pretty cool. Definitely pretty cool looking. Jimmy Uso then started beating down Big E. Big E accidentally like falls over after getting a super kick into the rope and bumps into Kevin Owens, which essentially makes the tag. Owens just is standing there for about 10 or 15 seconds on the apron, playing it very cool. Jimmy Uso's like trying to wait for Big E to get back in the ring, and out of nowhere, Owens just like throws him into the ropes, hits the pop-up powerbomb, eliminates Jimmy Uso, so it gets back to 3-3. And from there, it's a while before there's another elimination, for sure. Yeah, big gap, another probably like 15 minutes.
I like the use of Kevin Owens tonight. in the matches. I mean,
That's what they
it's put him over as a strong champion, and I mean, I like it a lot because it sort of sets him up for his next pay-per-view match. I think that I think him and Dean Ambrose could be on a collision course.
Oh, I know.
I don't think they haven't given it up yet, but I think they've sort of laid the groundwork. I mean, just like they might be laying the groundwork here for Ryback, Biggie Langston, and New Day and the Usos, or they could be laying a match for them being part of tag teams.
No, I agree. I mean, it does set up. I agree with you though. Kevin Owens looked like $1 million tonight for sure. And I find it interesting that you go into wrestling forums and you have fans like complaining, like, man, Kevin Owens isn't being used properly. He's like, dude, are you kidding me, guys? I mean, Kevin Owens is in a position where he's like top 4 or 5 guy in the Federation, if not
he's been
higher.
in the WWE for less than 6 months. He's gone over Cena. He's held the U.S. Championship.
He ran through NXT.
Continental Championship for the last 3 months or so.
Yeah, and he ran through NXT on top of all that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they're doing a great job building him up as a mega heel. But yeah. they're not hot-shotting him to the top. They're letting him build his way up. I mean, his U.S. title reign was a little bit lacking there. I mean, because it was against Super Cena. But I think getting the IC strap on him, it took the strap off of somebody who didn't know how to, or wasn't really utilizing it, wasn't really doing anything good with it, and it's building him up, and he's building it up as much as it's building him up.
He's been great, man. He's been great, and like Sasha Banks, they're doing the slow build, which is cool, and I like that. And you know what's funny, even before the match, one thing about, and what I've noticed, like I said about WWE lately, that I like is character development and the little things the characters do, like when the New Day were playing the guitar riff, air guitar, to Seth Rollins' theme, Kevin Owens' reaction to those guys was just hysterical. Like, he's just looking at these guys like, what the hell's wrong with these guys? You know?
Yeah.
But not enough to say anything to him. He just kind of looks at him real dirty, but won't say anything to him. But didn't intimidate them either. Like, that's just a little nuance of Kevin Owens' character, you know? He'll only really speak up when you push him, and I like that about him. I really like that about him. Like, in a lot of scenarios, he's the one that's wrong, you know? But anyway, what interesting, so 20 minutes of just back and forth. Finally, we get a slew of eliminations. Ryback hits shell shocks Big E out of nowhere, and gets the win. And right away after that, Rollins runs in the ring and hits a pedigree on Ryback. And, you know, eliminations come in flurries in WWE. So Ryback's out. So it's 2-on-2. Now here's where it gets interesting. So it's Reigns and Ambrose, who are actually very softened by end of the match. Rollins and Owens worked very well together. They dominated. They had control of this match. They should have won this match. And Owens kept basically telling Rollins to stop running his mouth and stop messing around and let's just finish this thing. So Owens would like set him up for a tag team move, and instead of like Rollins actually going after them, like doing the move, he would just talk crap, and Owens would keep saying, "Dude, come on, focus, let's finish this." And it went on like for a good 5 minutes, and finally there's that one interaction where, you know, Rollins talks a little too long and inadvertently hits his partner, and then he gets taken out. Ambrose hits Dirty Deeds on Owens after a mishap, and Owens takes the fall, and then it leaves Ambrose and Reigns versus Rollins, and from there, the booking was pretty clear. Ambrose and Reigns just beat the crap out of Rollins, and Rollins, to just avoid the beatdown continuing, he just picked up a chair and just started swinging wildly to get disqualified so the beating would stop. That's essentially what happened.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of a cop-out of a way to make a match. I would have liked him to see both wrestlers have to be strained, and then next week then it's on the pay-per-view, or on SmackDown announces pay-per-view.
I don't think Rollins actually picked up the chair to, like, this is where booking's good, right? So you actually had a really good Survivor Series match. And what I liked about this is I don't think Rollins picked up the chair because, like, he was worried about taking the fall. You know what I mean? Because he kept trying to run away. Rollins picked up the chair to make the beating stop. I like that. Like, it was out of desperation. It was like, these guys are never going to pin me and just end this. So I got to do something to get out of this match. Did you feel that? Like, I thought that was a different dynamic in psychology. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, you know what? I think I did a little bit. I still hate some of the booking. Did we talk about the Cesaro Miz match?
No, because it was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think Cesaro needs a gimmick. I mean, he is so over with the crowd. It's amazing. And Miz is at the point where he is getting X-Pac right now.
Dude, not only did Cesaro have to wrestle through Miz, who's just not cutting the mustard, but then you notice that his next feud is going to be with the Ascension and Stardust. I mean, Cesaro's
did that start? I was confused about that. I'm assuming that started like NXT or back like on like some wrestling show I don't watch, like SmackDown. Where does that come from?
You know, there's really no feud. It's just Stardust has been like following Cesaro around. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, he's sort of turned into a creeper.
I dig that.
I mean, I could dig it as a thing, but I mean, he's dressed up like a freaking road warrior now with Cesaro. I mean, he's getting to the point where, like Damian Sandow, where they're just changing his image every couple of weeks. I mean, shoot, he was in. I don't know. It's just not good use of talent.
I get Stardust is trying to be like Goldust, but it's funny because Cody Rhodes is such a good wrestler, and he was so over. Like, Stardust is cool as a partner to Goldust, and they're like, like similar, and they're, that's their gimmick together. But without Goldust, Stardust just seems to me like a cheap knockoff Goldust.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with this character, and I think it's run its course.
Here's something I hate saying, to your point, about it run its course. So somebody, like, it's one thing if Undertaker goes away and Bray Wyatt goes on to be the next Undertaker, right? Like an Undertaker-esque character. And I hate saying what I'm about to say. Goldust wasn't that good of a character that we need to continue it.
No, that's absolutely correct. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's going to be a WWE Hall of Famer sometime.
He was awesome,
probably.
But he wasn't that awesome.
Yeah. I mean, he's significant. He's a contributor, but I mean, he was never a top 3 matches of pay-per-view card. He was either the bathroom break or like the opening 2 matches.
Remember when I told you I don't like the way Braun Strowman's being pushed, and I've been going off on it for weeks?
I like the way he's being pushed tonight. Very insignificantly.
Can I tell you something?
What's that?
Bray Wyatt in that weird supernatural promo, which I enjoyed because it brought me back to like 80s wrestling, where now he controls the lightning and the fire and the thunder because he's taken the souls of Undertaker and Kane. I have to tell you something, and I really am going to love the payoff here. The amount of crap talking the Wyatts are doing and the amount of disrespect they're doing to the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and Undertaker. Do you understand the beatdown that is going to be put on the Wyatt family? It is going to be epic, and it is going to be fierce. The Brothers of Destruction are going to destroy these guys. It's not even going to be funny. It's going to be bad.
Yeah, and you know what? My hope, the segment was enough. I mean, they justified basically kidnapping the Undertaker and saying they own their souls and stuff like that. That's fine for storyline. I hope this storyline ends at Survivor Series. And, I mean, even if they decide, okay, you know what, we're going to do Undertaker, Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania and put Wyatt over, That's a good build for it.
They're not going to. They're going to kill him. Want to hear something funny, though? I was thinking about this. I hope Kevin's listening. If it wasn't for the injury, who would have been their partner in the Survivor? Because they're probably going to have a classic Survivor Series 4-4 match or something like that. You know what would have been great? They would have put Undertaker and Kane teaming up with Stank.
Wow.
Did you hear my? Did you catch the whole word?
Say it one more time.
Stink.
Stink?
Not Sting. Stink. Stink. Poor Sting, man. What a flop his WWE run was.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's just like, all right, you know what? Here's the agreement. We wrestle matches. We have creative control. You don't win a title, and we put you in the Hall of Fame in a year or two.
He shouldn't even be in the Hall of Fame after this. Kev, would you put Stink in the Hall of Fame?
Sure.
You would?
Sure, along with Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash should be in the Hall of Fame.
Not Nash, Nash.
Who's Nash?
He's the cousin of Stink.
No, but Stink's terrible, man. You think the Sting should be in the Hall of Fame?
I do. You have to put him in for his body of work. Because, you have all these wrestlers, they introduce...
He wrestled for WWE.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's wrestlers in the Hall of Fame that have never wrestled WWE. It was always something else.
Hey, Sting has done the job to Triple H. That qualifies him for Hall of Fame.
So, I kind of hijacked the whole piece, but how did both of you, Vic and Kev, how'd you guys feel about the Supernatural promo where Wyatt made it thunder and fire?
I woke up when I heard the thunder, and I saw it was Bray Wyatt talking, and I rolled back over and went back to sleep.
Wow.
You didn't like the Supernatural gimmicky wrestling thing?
The show had already put me to sleep at that point, and Bray Wyatt did nothing to pique my interest at all.
I have another question. Why is Luke Harper, it's not so much Luke Harper, but Eric Rowan specifically, when they've had feuds with Kane in the past, because they've had their run-ins with Canes, or Kane, not Canes. I've noticed with Kane, when Kane would come out and Eric Rowan was fighting him, he'd be afraid of the fire, but yet he wasn't afraid of the fire when Bray Wyatt used it. Any reason for that?
I got nothing.
I don't know.
Not consistent. And where was Ruru this week? Vic, where was Ruru?
I love Ruru. He might have been on his honeymoon.
That sucks he wasn't on. And apparently Randy Orton got a very bad injury.
Yeah, when did that happen with Orton? Is that what was going on where he got... Because, he's been out for a while, because apparently he got beat up in Mexico by the Wyatts before the last pay-per-view. So, this is going on for like a month now. Is it the issues with his shoulder?
I think he's going to film the Marine 5.
Okay.
Or he's going on the vacation that Nikki Bella and John Cena are on. He's with them.
Wow.
Seriously, can I tell you, WWE is booking weekly, like not weekly as in WEE, but in WEA, is because I think that Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn, not Triple H, but Kevin Dunn specifically, with Vince McMahon, they want to really bury the show right now with Cena, Orton, and all the big guys off TV, because they don't want this new class to take over, because that's all Triple H's boys. But think about it, Survivor Series, what an opportunity for all the new guys to shine, because literally Orton and Cena are nowhere near the card.
Yeah, you know what? I like it. They're going to have Kevin Owens. Hopefully Cesaro gets the match. Ziggler might not you could put into a 5-man team. You're going to have some pretty solid guys there. I just hope they don't throw them all into the Survivor Series matches. I understand that to lead up to things moving forward, but I think that tonight, doing the Survivor Series match, and even next week if you want to, do another Survivor Series match and have it lead into another match or two at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Is there any chance you'd put Brie Mode in the main event?
I'd put her in a main event with me. I'd roll around on the canvas with her for as long as it took to get the job done.
Free mode.
Also, you know what? I have to say one more thing. Nikki Bella is still by far the hottest diva. Paige is 1B.
Yeah, you're feeling
hottest diva. She is. I'm really sold that she's pretty freaking hot.
I don't know.
I don't like to objectify women here. Because that's certainly not what we do here at AngryMarks.com.
I think Paige is
beautiful.
Paige is an example of what good makeup can do for you. I think that's all makeup. My opinion.
Is she not really an emu or an albino?
No, like her face.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not that concerned about it. I'm just hoping that they don't put a women's tag match in the. What are your thoughts on pay-per-view as it shapes up?
Well, you mean the pay-per-view, which is Survivor Series. I mean, I need to know what the whole card is. I mean, right now, we know it appears Rollins is going to fight Reigns, which we know is booked. I actually think there's going to be some kind of bullcrap finish. There's no way Rollins is dropping the title. I just don't see it yet. I think Rollins is going to get screwed. Or Reigns is going to get screwed somehow. And maybe it's an Ambrose turn. Probably not. But not yet. They're not taking the belt off Rollins just yet. He might lose it at Royal Rumble, but he's not losing it at Survivor Series. I'm
sorry, you cut out there. What was it? Who's not losing what?
Rollins is not dropping the belt.
Oh, no. I definitely don't think so. I can almost see him running it till WrestleMania, or maybe the pay-per-view before WrestleMania, Elimination Chamber.
Fastlane.
I mean, and it's going to depend. It's going to depend who comes out of Royal Rumble. I mean, it could be a situation where, hey, you know what? They want somebody else in there, and we can stick Rollins in the feud. That's sort of similar to what they would be going in a main event. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he's done a good job by winning matches and winning matches the way they want him to. But I think the problem is that he's not getting ratings that they would like.
Yeah, I mean, Rollins has that diversity. I agree. You could put him in any of those. There's going to be some kind of confrontation between Undertaker and Kane and the Wyatts, whether it be a Survivor Series match. There's no doubt in my mind that Undertaker and Kane are going to win that. And the women's match, I think Charlotte is going to go easily over Paige.
Hey, Tenzai.
Yes.
We have a special guest on the line with a breaking news update for you.
Uh-oh.
Is it our very own Extreme Tony?
No, it's not.
Is that Seth Draken?
Yes.
What's up, man? How you doing, buddy?
Wow.
Good. First of all, I wanted to tell you guys that Rusev is not in because he got injured on main event.
Ruru got hurt for real?
Hurt for real, yeah. He had a match with Neville, hurt his shoulder.
Is it serious?
Well, they had to stop the match because he had to pop it back in, and he's going to be out for, I believe, at least 3 to 4 weeks.
So who won the match?
Neville did by medical stoppage.
So will they show that?
I believe they already did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was last week's main event. So that's why Ruru is not here.
Wow. That's big news. Seth Draken always with the big news. But good stuff. All right, guys. Well, Seth Draken, always a pleasure. I'll definitely listen Thursday nights when I can. Big Dick, it's always a pleasure. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks everybody for joining, and we'll see you next week. Kev, hit the music.